Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review True History of the Kelly Gang. And this is an Australian film directed by Justin Kurzel, who was the director of Macbeth, with Michael Fassbender, which is a visionary, visual, just awe-inspiring film that is challenging in how it's presented and how the story plays out and how the audience connects with it. Very much so can be said the same about this film. But this tells a story of this young man out in the outback who winds up spearheading a rebellion against the English, but his challenging backstory and what made him who he is. And George McKay, who's from 1917, does a really good job as Ned Kelly, our lead character. And the young man who plays him as a kid also does a really strong job. I have to say, I loved the first act of this film, which takes a point when he's a kid and his very challenging upbringing with influencers like Essie Davis plays his mother, who's a prostitute, and she's absolutely amazing. She kills it in this film. She's a fantastic actress. I hope she pops up in more things. And there's this English captain played by Charlie Hunnam who has a complex relationship with this family as a customer and an antagonist, and in many ways somebody who inadvertently shapes Ned Kelly's perspective on the English. And then you have this man who's a big influence on Ned Kelly as a child, and it's Russell Crowe playing Harry Power, and he is fantastic. I absolutely love Russell Crowe in this. For the short time he's in this film, he's commanding, he's fun, he does some singing, a lot better than Les Mis, and that first act is challenging, it's visual, it doesn't spell things out, and it challenges you as an audience to really appreciate the little details in the story, and it's a complex story with complex characters, and it's hard to figure out who to root for and see how this young man is shaped. The second act kicks in when he's an adult, and his friend, who is an Englishman played by Nicholas Hoult, he falls in love with Thomas and Mackenzie's character, and things get more complicated, especially with his mother. There's some really tense, powerful moments in this film. There's a lot more powerful moments in this film than a coherent, powerful film all around. And there's some moments that really slow to a snail's pace and really cut the pacing of this film. And then the third act really lost me. And it gets more abstract. It gets more visual, which was really cool. But I started losing connection with what Ned Kelly's motivations were. There's still really thrilling action in it. But I lost connection with his motivation, what was really going on, and it just kind of fell flat for me. And despite some really great performances from Essie Davis and Russell Crowe, Charlie Hunnam, Nicholas Hoult, and George McKay, this film kind of just keeps going down and down and down throughout. There's some little awesome spikes throughout there in terms of action, particular scenes, very thrilling scenes, and intense scenes, but what could have been an amazing film with how this opened kind of just falls apart towards the end. And that really disappointed me because I was really enjoying this for the first, say, 35, 40 minutes of the film. But in general, if you catch it on streaming, I rented this on Amazon Prime. Probably not worth the rental. If it comes out on like Prime just to watch, maybe give it a try, especially if you're into like those period pieces. This is a historical film. But those are my thoughts on True History of the Kelly Gang. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.